Okay, you guys, so thank you for clicking on this video. As you could tell by the title of this video, talking some new Studio Series 86 Voyager class Seeker mold updates in terms of the engineering and just some things people have been noticing with this upcoming release. So one of these was made aware to me by Emi, my Discord manager for my own server. So shout out to you. Thank you for sending this my way. So he sent me some pics here, and you could see in different promotional pictures, and also I think this was the New York Comic-Con showroom floor, the prototype for this Thundercracker figure. There's 3 different head sculpts for this guy that has been shown. So the first one, I think, was during the San Diego Comic-Con live stream a couple months ago. I could be wrong, where it's just that straight mean mugging face with no expression. And then this second one, I think, was during the stock photos that was revealed for Thundercracker, where he's kind of like talking or like gritting his teeth or something like that. I'm not really sure on the expression here, but it's definitely different from the first one we saw. And then the third one here is more of like a smiling expression, it looks like, which, if I were to guess, so they did say, I think this was in the San Diego Comic-Con interview with TFW 2005. They said that each of the 3 main Seekers, which are all coming out in 2027, Thundercracker, Starscream, and Skywarp, they mentioned that all 3 of them are going to have separate head sculpts with different expressions. So I think we've already seen all 3 of the expressions, and Hasbro might have done this on purpose. I don't know if this was an accident, considering they already have all these heads built into the tooling, and maybe just other prototypes had different heads for different times or for whatever the reason may be. But it seems like we've seen all 3 head expressions already, and I'm really curious to see on what they use for not only the remaining 2 of Skywarp and Starscream, whoever these heads go to, but for other characters as well, since these heads are already built into the tooling. You know, that goes for Acid Storm, Sunstorm, all the other Seekers that are named Storm. You know, I am really excited for the future of this new 86 Voyager class Seeker mold, and not just the 86 line, but for the Generations line as a whole for the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, depending on how long they use this mold before it inevitably gets another upgrade at Voyager, or maybe even Leader class by that point. You never know with price increases and inflation and stuff. But if I were to guess, the straight mean mugging face probably goes to either Thundercracker or Skywarp, in my opinion. That's what I'm thinking. And then the more like mouth open, teeth gritting face again, I think either goes to Thundercracker or Skywarp. I think either of those 2 head sculpts fit their characterization the best, in my opinion. And then I definitely think the more like smiling, sniveling, crazy look on his face would fit best for Starscream. Like, he seems to be the one that would just fit that the most. You know, his name is Starscream. He's like, I don't know if I would say like the most impressionable or the Seeker with the most expression, but he definitely seems like the one that would be emoting the most with that sort of facial expression. So I'm thinking the more smiling, crazy look goes to Starscream, and then the other 2 head sculpts really can be interchangeable between Skywarp and Thundercracker, in my opinion, just based off of how they are as characters in G1. But obviously I could be wrong. I'm just speculating and theorizing on what I think these heads could go to for each character. But it's really going to be exciting to see which head goes to who, because this is looking like one of the best Voyager class releases for Hasbro ever. And the other little tidbit of info and engineering here for this new Seeker mold is that, so they showed this off in the live stream. You could take the tail fins off that are in the back of the F-15 and then obviously become a part of the lower legs in the robot mode. You could leave them on the lower legs for more of a toy-accurate design for the robot. Or what you could do is pop the tail fins off and then they plug inside of the wings on the back part of the robot mode, the main F-15 wings. And it makes for good storage. It makes for the back to clean up a lot better and look a bit better. You know, if maybe you're doing a stop motion or a photo where one of the seekers is facing in the back, you know, it just looks a bit cleaner doing it that way. And plus, you get more of an animation accurate robot mode, and it just looks better in my opinion. But, you know, the toy accurate look does seem pretty cool as well. It's really just going to be up to the preference of the collector, because I know some people prefer the more toy accurate designs for characters. Some people prefer just straight animation accuracy. I'm in the middle. You know, it really depends on the character for me if I prefer animation accuracy or toy accuracy. So with the Seeker mold, I really don't care either way. I like both designs from the cartoon and the original toys. So if I were to get any of this new 86 Seeker mold, it really would just depend on the day for me if I want to leave the tail fins on the lower legs or if I want to plug them on the back for more of an animation accurate look. But either way, I think this is a really good decision on Hasbro's part. I know some people are going to be pissed because it is parts forming, and there's a lot of people in the fandom that hate that. But honestly, in my opinion, I think it was thought out well, and it actually works. It's not something that's lazy, where it's just taken off and it just sits on your desk, or it's like a hoverboard like RC, or it's some ugly shield like Earthrise Cliff Jumper. You know, I think they thought of a clever way for storage to make the robot mode in the back of the figure actually look a bit more complete and solid, which Hasbro doesn't really do too often. So I really gotta commend them on the way they handled the parts forming of this tail fin. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much all the updates I wanted to cover here for this upcoming Studio Series 86 Voyager class Seeker mold in Thundercracker. Let me know down below. Are you guys going to be getting this new Thundercracker release next year? And how do you guys feel about these head sculpts? How do you think they look? And what do you guys think about the parts forming for the lower leg tail fins? And yeah, guys, thank you for watching this video. Catch y'all in the next one. Bye!